Mistakes are an inescapable, inevitable part of the human experience, meaning that as a human being that you are, as a living being that you are, you're bound to make mistakes, you're bound to make errors, you're bound to offend someone, you're bound to break rules rather. Now, it doesn't matter. Now, this can range from minor missteps to significant errors. This can range from tiny mistakes to huge errors. Now, mistakes can be made against oneself or against another person. Hello everyone, my name is Teresa and you're welcome to another episode of Strength in Scars. Today we'll be starting a series on mistakes where we'll be talking about what mistakes are, the types of mistakes and the effects they have on our lives. And at the end of the day, I will be telling you how to deal with these mistakes. So in the next 2 to 3 videos, we're going to be dealing on what mistakes are and the types of mistakes, meaning that we'll be going in depth into the types of mistakes and the effects they have on our lives. And at the end of the video, I'm going to be telling you how to deal with these mistakes. Now, with all this being said, let us dive in. Mistake means to commit an unintentional error, to do or think something wrong, or to take risks or choose wrongly. Mistakes are unintentional, meaning they can be committed against yourself or against another person unintentionally. It could be something you thought wrong, it could be something you said wrong. So many of us have said something wrong to offend another person. We have said something against ourselves. We have thought negative thoughts against ourselves. We've thought negative things about other people. We've done unintentional things to people. We've done unintentional things to ourselves that have harmed other people and have harmed ourselves. Now, it is not a terrible thing to make a mistake. It doesn't mean that it is the end of the world. It is fine to make mistakes. But the problem we have is that after making this mistake, some of us seem to dwell on the pain and the regrets that comes from it. But instead of that, it is better for you to move by discovering what kind of mistake you made and applying constructive measures. Is it to apologize? Is it whatever it is you need to do? You need to apply these measures so that you can move from where you are, a place of pain, a place of regret, a place of shame, to where you're supposed to be, a place of positivity and full of positive opportunities. Now, with that being said, there are different categories of mistake. Mistakes can be categorized into different forms. Now, what are the categories of mistakes? Mistakes are categorized into simple mistakes, judgment errors, knowledge-based mistakes, that is lack of knowledge or misinformation, behavioral mistakes, communication errors, ethical mistakes, relational errors, or strategic mistakes. Now, these are the categories of mistakes. But at the same time, under these categories, we have different types of mistakes which are more relatable to us as a person. These are mistakes that we can relate to, and some of these types of mistakes are relationship errors. We have financial mistakes, we have career missteps, we have health-related mistakes, we have legal and ethical mistakes, we have social and interpersonal mistakes, and we have missed opportunities. Now, these are the types of mistakes. There could be more. It doesn't mean that these are the only types of mistakes we have in this world. There are so many other more. There are so much more. But these are the ones that I will be dwelling on. These are the ones that I will be talking about in the next few videos. These are the ones that I will be speaking on. These are the ones we'll be discussing. These are the ones I will be going in depth, explaining them and telling you the effects they have on our lives. Now, after explaining all of these types of mistakes in the subsequent videos, at the end of the video, the last video in this series, I am going to be telling you how to deal with these mistakes. Meaning that at the end of it, I am going to be giving you solutions to these mistakes, how to correct your mistakes, how to move from where you are because of the mistakes you made to where you're supposed to be, steps you're supposed to take to move from where you are to where you're supposed to be. I believe you got value from this particular episode. Now, in this episode, we have talked about what mistakes are, we've talked about the categories of mistakes, we've talked about the types of mistakes. Now, in the subsequent videos, in the next video, we're going to be going in depth into the types of mistakes, discussing what they are and discussing the effects they have on our lives. Now, don't forget that at the end of our discussion, at the end of breaking down of these types of mistakes, at the end, I'm going to be giving you steps on how to deal with these mistakes. Now, it doesn't matter how big or small the mistake you have made. It doesn't matter how big or small the errors you have made. What matters is that you realize that you have made a mistake, be it against someone else or against yourself. You realize that a mistake has been made and you want to make a correction and you want to correct these mistakes because you are tired of the pain and you're tired of the regrets and you're tired of the shame that came along with these things. Now, like I said, making a mistake or that you made a mistake doesn't mean that it is the end of the world. That you made a mistake that cannot be said doesn't mean that it is the end of the world. You don't have to hold on to them because holding on to them will still weigh you down. And like I said in my previous videos, here we share stories of mistakes, we share stories of whatever it is. Now, but because we are dealing on mistakes in this series, if you have made any mistake in the past that you feel like you cannot share with anyone, this platform was created for you, you in particular, because bearing these things alone can weigh you down and bearing these things alone can tear you down. On this platform, we don't need to know your name, we don't need to know what you look like. You can share your stories with us anonymously via our email link, which I'll be dropping in the description below. Now, you don't have to tell us your name, you don't have to show us your face. The only thing we need to know is your age and your gender. That's all we need to know so we can address you appropriately. Now, mistakes have been made, errors have been committed. It doesn't mean that it is the end of the world. Nobody on earth can say that they have not made a mistake, whether it is minor or major. I have made a mistake or I have made mistakes in this life. It doesn't mean that I should go commit suicide or kill myself or something. No. I am still living because I realized what the mistakes were and I applied constructive measures on how to get myself out of that place to where I am today. I believe you got value from this video. I believe you learned one or two things from this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and please share with someone because you don't know who you are blessing or who you are touching, whose life you are touching by sharing this video. I hope to see you in the next video. Remember that there are no scars that cannot be healed. I love you always and see you soon.